Hey guys, Andy here. Welcome to my very first YouTube video tutorial on how I go about with my edits. Um, yeah, so I promise it's gonna get better. It's not like the best setup right now. So yeah, so I just want to show you guys how I edit because a lot of people ask me, and I'm more than happy to show you guys. Yeah, so let's get it on. So I have a shot here of Los Angeles that I took about I don't know a few weeks ago. Good sunset here. I like to underexpose my shots all the time, so I could pull back the details like the highlights and the shadows, and you know, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, so this is the shot. So I do single exposures, single shots. Then I like to bring them into Lightroom. Once you're into Lightroom here, what I do, this is the way I start with my process. I do a virtual copy like so, and then another virtual copy. So I'll make two virtual copies. I'll show you the copies here. So this is copy number 2, copy number 1, and then the original file here. So this copy here, copy number 2, I like to overexpose it, which is right here, right there. Boom. You'll see a change here right now. Boom, there it goes. This one, I like to underexpose it, like so. So, and I got my original copy, underexposed, overexposed. I select all 3 files, like so, and then I take them into photomatix. So I export them into photomatix here. And then these are settings that that I done in the past. They're just there, and kind of settings that I like. Like noise reduction, alignment images, chromatic aberration, and so on. So I export the file, and it's going to take a few seconds. All right, so here we go. So it's taken into photomatix and it's letting me know there's a overexposed, underexposed shot. And then this one here, the original that I shot. And I like to do, let me see. There we go. So one stop over, one stop under the original exposure, which is the original shot. And then hit OK. So this is telling me that the 3 images, they're gonna get blended together in photomatix, and it's gonna make one picture with 3 different exposures. So now it's doing this thing in photomatix, and it's Photomatix Pro version 5.1.3, the one I've been using for a very long time. It takes a little bit of time, a few seconds, nothing crazy. But it's aligning the shots right now. And then you'll see it come up right now. And there it is. That's the shot. So right off the bat, it just shows you what it does. Then you have your sliders here on the side, on the left-hand side. And it already comes with some presets here that I never use because they're really harsh. I don't know, maybe a few are looking pretty dope. Maybe this one. Yeah, but I don't know. Let's see. So go back to default. So that's the original. So you got the sliders here, and that's like just start sliding away. Whatever you find interesting, whatever you think it's good for your shot. However shot or style do you like to edit? Depends on you. So, just move them around, like all the way here. Detail contrast here. Just keep sliding. I like that. And then this one here. I like that dark at the bottom. Smooth highlights. Just keep moving. So you'll see what's doing to the picture here. And I might leave it up a little bit. I don't know. Just leave it like so. The whites. You want to make it a little brighter on the whites. So just a little bit. The blacks, so I don't see nothing here. If I don't see anything, I just leave the slider by itself. And let me see what this is doing here. I like that there. So temperature, you can move temperature, you can make it warmer, you can make it cooler. It's up to you. Micro smoothing. I think that's what it does. It just smooths the picture out. Yeah, so I just leave it as is. Saturation only on the highlights. So you want to saturate the highlights only, which I kind of like a little bit. And then saturation on the shadows. Kind of see here what's going on. The buildings are getting orange. Not too orange though. Something a little more natural. Shadow smoothness, which I kind of like there. Shadow clipping, maybe a little darker in the bottom. There we go, like so. Yeah, so you see what it's doing here. And I'm just gonna leave it like right there. So that's it. That's pretty much all the sliders you get in photomatix. Once it's done and I'm happy with what I got, you got to save and re-import the shot into Lightroom. So you take it back into Lightroom, then I'll just finish it off there. The photomatix gives you the option to bracket pictures together, where on Lightroom it does not. So this is the original shot that I started with. This is the first copy. And then this is the second copy. And I put all those 3 pictures together into photomatix, which is here. And this is the shot that it gave me once I was done editing in photomatix. So that's the photomatix version. This is the original shot. 3 shots bracket together into one. And that's it. So now I start editing. So go to develop here. And I got a bunch of presets that I've done in the past, so not all the presets are gonna work. So I'll start, just coming down here. And this is the Visco Film 4, I believe. This is where it gives you all the presets. They have like the Visco presets, that I bought a long time ago. That I really don't use. But there's certain tools in the Visco Film presets, not in the presets, but there's some tools, special tools that I like using in here. Let's see if I could find it first. And I think I passed it. Oh, here we go. So it's called the Visco Film 03 Toolkit. And so this gives you options here to like tweak out the picture. Gives you like a tone, like a nice warm tone or cool tone. You just gotta play with it. So it gives you sharpness, it gives you like the O-lens effect, clarity, which I really don't use, but I like using their tones though, because their tones kind of sometimes do add to the picture. And so this is a warm tone. You can see how, let me see, I'll go back again. You can see it, so. And also here in the top corner, it gives you a little display of example of what it looks like with that tone. You keep scrolling down, so I really don't like none of these. A little too orange. I kind of like this one though. You've probably seen it in my shots a few times. I like this one. It looks really good. Keep scrolling down, all the way down. There's a bunch of presets in here. I don't know, I think it's like over 200-300 presets that I really don't use. And then you keep coming down, there's another toolkit. It's called the Visco Film LR4 Toolkit. And it's right there. And if you open it up, it gives you the blacks, it gives you silver blacks, negative blacks, And if you keep going down, so give you the plus, black plus, black plus plus. And if you put the mouse on top, it gives you a preview on the top left corner of what it looks like. So I'll give you an example here. So first black, so you don't see a lot of change. The second black, but if we go back to no blacks, you might see a little change there. And I kind of like it here at the bottom, what's going on with the blacks. So I'm gonna leave it as is. Contrast, so you got your contrast negative, your contrast negative negative, and then you got your plus contrast and your plus plus contrast. I don't know, that's just the way they did it for this toolkit. So this is the original contrast here, or the one that I added on photomatix. And if I hit the contrast plus, you start seeing how it brings a little more detail. And I kind of like that. Dark city, and the sky is really popping, it's really going. A lot of colors up there. So I like that. I like that black, what's going on here. And you can see it's really sharp, and I shot it with a the 80 to 200 millimeter lens, and I shot it at 100 millimeters. So it's really sharp lens. I highly recommend it. Then you got your highlights here. I like that. I always bring the highlights down. That's the reason why I like to underexpose all the time. If you overexpose, you blow out the highlights, and you can't bring them down this low where you can actually see a lot of more detail up in the sky. So I'll do that again for you guys here. You see that's the original highlights that I added in photomatix, or the edit that came in from photomatix. And then so this is highlight save, the first one, highlight save plus, that's the second one, highlight save third, plus plus. Yeah, so big difference here. Check it out. I like that. That looks more like fire. Yeah, so I'll keep scrolling down. There's a bunch of other options too. It's just whatever whatever you like. The shadows, let me see the shadows. I don't know. The city looks a little weird, like pinkish. I don't know. Kind of like it with no shadows. Yeah, that looks more dramatic, I would say. Fade, sometimes fade does help. It brings a little more detail out. I hardly don't use fade. I know a lot of people do, but not my thing. But sometimes it helps. And keep scrolling down here. Grain, obviously no grain. We don't want to add a grain. Keep going down. Sharpening, vignetting. I don't use none of those. There's so many options up in here that you guys could use. So it gives you another run of. As you keep scrolling down, it gives you another film toolkit, almost a similar, same thing. The blacks, the contrast, the highlights, the shadows, the fade, the same thing that we just went through right now. You keep going down here, now it goes into colors. So it's a Visco Film Toolkit color. So if you put your mouse on top, it gives you a little preview of what it looks like, what it's doing to the picture up in this corner. And it's doing the blues right now. So we'll go to a positive blue. You'll see the blues change here. We could go more like vivid blue, more like darker blue, I guess you could say. And then like super blue, which is like too blue, is kind of fake already. I think I'll leave it there. Yeah, so there was a lot of going on here up in the sky. A lot of orange and pink and yellows, and there's blues, and the clouds were crazy. So you got the orange fix. So the orange fix actually takes away orange. So you got the greens before the orange here. There's no green in here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass that up. And then the orange here. So this is the first orange skin fix. And I guess this is more like for portraits. If you're doing portraits, I guess this will fix the skin, give it more of a natural look. But since there's orange in here in this shot, it's actually messing around with that orange. So So yeah, so that's what it does. And I really want to keep the original orange here. It looks really vivid and it really pops and it's really fire. So you got your saturation, desaturation. If you want to desaturate the picture, maybe just a little bit, yeah. So that's good. It looks more natural, I'll say. The greens, the shadows, no shadows here. Magenta shadows. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on what colors you got up in the on your shot. More tones here. So you got the creamy highlights. I'll show you what it does. Saw that? Just it's changing up. It's taking away the reds. And then you got a tone like the Fuji, and I get this is more like a preset, I'll say. There's also they're tones, but I say they're more presets. Yeah, so I'll leave those alone. Once that's done, I come over to the Lightroom sliders, which is like the ones that everybody uses here. First thing I do my crop for my Instagram, which is a 4x5, and I like messing around with it and see which is the best comp or which is the best, the best way or comp that I could show you guys. So I'll say that looks good already. Yeah, and if you want to, pop the clouds, clarity works. If you move the slider here, lets you can see what's doing. But if you only want to pop just the clouds itself, there's a lot of toolkits you can use it up in here. So you got the graduated filter, which is one of them, and then you have the radial filter, and then you have the brush. And I'm assuming a lot of people use the brush. I just started recently using the brush. I use a lot of the graduated filter because it's really smooth on the effect. It's not so like dramatic. But you really want to just go in there and just touch up whatever you want. I would say the brush is the best tool you could use. Take this away. There we go. So yeah, so we'll use the brush here. Scroll down here, and then this lets you see or use the size of brush you want to use. Yeah, so I want to touch up. I want to do the clouds. I want the clouds to pop here. So first of all, I'm gonna do the show selection mask. I want to see where I'm putting the effect on. So as soon as I start hitting here, you see how it goes red. Like I see this, like it's letting me know where it's being touched up. It's being with the brush, and it's letting me know what's going to be affected. Yeah, so I want to do just the clouds. Primarily just the big clouds, maybe a little bit down here. Yeah, so this is the option here, mask overlay, where you see it. It lets you know where you touched it up. So I'll take it away now, for now, and then I'll use clarity. So wherever I use that brush, you see what it's doing. So it's adding more like a 3D effect because I'm just doing selective areas. You can do the highlights if you like, blow them out, leave them on. So maybe I just add a little bit. Shadows up or shadows up, wherever you want. You could add some blue to it, cool it down. Really your option, whatever you're feeling in the moment. You could add some magenta to it. Yeah, so that's that. I'll leave the clouds alone. Shadows we can just leave it alone. Whites, so you could maybe go up a little more on the whites. Well, first I want to do exposure, see? There. Whites, bring them down a little bit. Blacks. So this is going to be more like a darker edit. Clarity, we already did clarity. I did it on the clouds only, so I'm not going to do it on the city. The city will look kind of weird if I... Too sharp. I want it to be a depth of field, I'll say, right? From the sharpness to the softness. So I want the sky to be sharper on the city. And then highlights again. You know, you want to make it look more dramatic, or it's up to you. The lights. So you just keep sliding away wherever you think or feel that, you know, your picture looks great. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring down the shadows here. Kind of like how the city looks really dark down there. It looks cool. So colors. We get to colors down here. So there's three options. You get your saturation, your luminance, and your HUE. I don't know how to pronounce that. So pretty much what it lets you do, this first option here lets you like the oranges. If you want to switch up the color on the orange, you go red, or you go like more like yellow, you know. So I'm just gonna leave it orange as is. So now the yellows itself, you want to switch them to orange, or, you know, your taste. The reds, the greens, obviously there's no green in here. The aqua, so there's a little bit of effect going up here. So I think I'm just gonna, let me see. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it in the middle. The blues, yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it in the middle right there. The purples, I don't see no purples. And okay, and the magenta. Yeah, so luminance. So luminance, the reds, like how bright do you want the reds? Do you want to make them darker? Do you want to make them more vivid or brighter? Orange, you'll see a big dramatic change here. Most of this, I'll say 80% of the shot is all orange. Yeah, so if you want darker, some people are into like the darkness, you know, dark edits. Kind of just want to make it a little more realistic, how it looked in the moment. I'll leave it at 13 plus. And then the yellows, you know, you could maybe blow out the yellows a little bit here. I like that. And the greens, so you got the greens, so obviously no greens again. And the aqua, there's a little bit of the left corner over there, a little bit of change going on. So I'm just gonna leave it in the middle. The blues, and I'm just gonna leave it in the middle, or maybe right there. Yeah, it looks cool. The purples, there's a little bit of purple going on. It's right in the middle, like in between the sky and the clouds. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, I know it's not the best setup right now. Magenta. Let me see, magenta. No, nothing. Saturation. So if you want to make them more yellow, blue, orange, you know, it's your taste. Maybe a little bit of orange there, yeah. The reds, you know, you could do the reds, no reds. Might add a little bit of red there. The blues, the blue over here looks a little weird. Yeah, so we're just gonna leave it as is. You don't want to mess with that. The purples, I'm gonna bring on the purples. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Saturation, luminance, and the HUE option. The U option. Yeah, so that's what it does. And then we move on to the split toning. So since I already selected a few tones out here on the left hand side, it's done the change for me here, and you could always change it. So it's at 38 right now on the slider. You can make it more pink, you can make it more blue, you can make it whatever you want. Or you could just bring down the effect. Just bring it down a little bit. You do the shadows here too, so it's at 15, sorry. And so you see what it's doing. It's moving the tones just in the shadows. So 15, let me see, there you are. I don't know, I think I'm just gonna do more like a blue, or let me see. Just there, I'll leave it at 10. Saturation on the shadows, not too much, just a little bit, I'll leave it at 10. Detail, a lot of people talk about detail. Let me see if there's any noise. Even though I shot it at ISO 500, there's noise. And the reason why there's noise, because photomatix has a tendency of bringing a lot of noise. So if you're shooting at super high ISOs, I recommend you do some noise reduction first before taking it into photomatix, because it's going to bring a lot of noise. So sharpening, I just leave it at the minimum. The radius, 50. The details, 50. The masking, 0. The noise, I'll do 20. There's a little bit of noise, nothing crazy, but you could see it if you zoom in. And detail, contrast, and color, I'll leave that alone. The lens, I already did this before importing the picture. So if I go to the original file, oh no, I did not, huh? Oh, so I guess I could do it right now. Do that. Okay, so that's taking care of the chromatic aberration, lens correction. See, there's a plane down here. Yeah, there's a plane. That's cool. And effects, if you're into like effects, like the whites or the blacks, or you want that vignetting. So this is how you get the vignetting in Lightroom. I'm sure a lot of people know. You could you go really in the middle there. You get midpoint. So I really don't mess around with this, but I know a lot of people they do. But I'm just gonna leave this alone. Camera calibration down here, and so everything's right in the middle at 0, right? So the blues, hit 50. Let's see what it does. You always want to move the sliders to see what's up, see what it looks like to you, and if you like it, just leave it. So I'm just gonna go back this way. The greens, that's a little too orange. Yeah, I'll leave this right in the middle again. Just leave it in the middle if you don't like it. Back to the middle, I don't like it. And yeah. So a lot of people ask me how is it that I keep so much detail bringing it into Lightroom? Well, it's pretty simple. It's nothing crazy. So this is a shot in Lightroom, and what I do, I actually email it just to myself. I email it to myself, and once I get it in my own email, I save the picture to my phone and just take it directly into Instagram. And if you feel like it needs a little bit of more sharpness, then you add a little bit of sharpening on the tools that are provided on Instagram, and that should help. But I mean, I don't know. You might also want to check if you're shooting JPEG, and also check your focus points. Like, make sure you're focusing where you have to be focused, or else the detail or the focus, it's going to be off, and it's not going to be as sharp as you want it to be. Yeah, so I'm waiting on the program here to pop up the email option. Let's see, so these are all my shots here. So a lot of people ask me what kind of programs do I have. So I have Lightroom, I have Aurora, it's an HDR program, Final Cut Pro for video, the Photoshop, what is it? This program here, it's like a video. I don't know if you guys probably seen it. So it lets you move the sky. It's a shot It just lets you move the sky. I don't know, you guys probably seen it like on Instagram or seen pictures where like it shows like it's moving. So this is the program here. Bridge, iMovie, photomatix, and just your standard, Mac options on the side. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. This is so I'll show you the original. That's the original, and then this is the final right there. And I'll show you the original. This is the one from Photomatix. And then this is the final one in Lightroom. And then this is the original file that I started with. And that's it. That's pretty much what I do. There's nothing crazy, and you just gotta take your time with it, I guess. Yeah, so I'll be doing some more tutorials on editing and showing you guys what I do, how I do it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like this, what is it that you didn't like? What should I improve? And I know my setup is not the greatest right now, but it should be getting better soon. And yeah, so let me know. And I'll post this shot on Instagram. So you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's going to be andy.c.photography. And you'll find this shot there. I'll put it on the stories, and then I'll put it on my feed so you guys can check it out for sure. All right, thank you guys. Bye.